Slade was designed to be the ultimate evil for the Teen Titans.
He was relentless, he was nonstop, and he wanted the Titans. And that's what makes him scary, because he's a guy who'll do whatever it takes.
Too slow, Robin. You always were.
I knew you'd come back.
Slade does have powers. They're not the sort where he can shoot beams, or at least not yet, but he has enhanced strength and enhanced recovery and reflexes and all of that. But mostly he's a superior example of an ordinary man.
What are you planning?
Seismic generators, Robin. 3 of them.
There's an actor who has made a career of playing characters who are evil or ugly or what you would not think of as sexy, and that is Ron Perlman.
The funny thing about Ron Perlman doing that voice for Slade was when you hear him, he's done so much voiceover and he's such a talented actor that he knows exactly what he's doing with a microphone.
As long as I'm around, you are never alone.
I think maybe one of Slade's greatest weaknesses is probably the fact that he is so bound and determined and single-minded and focused in what he's doing that sometimes he can't see outside of what's going on right in front of him. And what's so great about the Teen Titans is anything goes for them. They don't play by the rules, so they're always going to come up with some kind of surprising move that's going to turn Slade on his heel.
He essentially became an evil father figure, and we wound up using that in a number of ways. In the first season with him attempting to essentially adopt Robin, and in the second season with him actually taking Tara on as an apprentice.
And that's what happened at the end of season 2 with Tara and the Aftershock, the 2-parter. We thought we got rid of Slade, and he came back. And certainly in Haunted, it was the mere thought of Slade. That's the scary thing about Slade. He doesn't have to be anywhere near you to be able to get you.
Slade's unbelievably driven, and he will stop at nothing to achieve his goals. If that means waiting weeks and months and years to do it, he will.
Blood. Brother Blood. At your service.
Brother Blood is someone who loves the spotlight. He's not going to be very coy about what he's doing. He's going to come right out and tell you.
Brother Blood has a number of powers which we never got too specific about, but he has the ability to manipulate people's minds, to sort of put a spell on people. The way we described it was that his power was the power of persuasion.
He is a very cultish leader in a lot of ways, and once Brother Blood gets you in his sights, he will find a way to charm you into submission.
Serve me, and I can make you what you once were. I can give back your life.
Brother Blood's obsession with Cyborg grew out of having these two characters interact, and we realized that when we did this first episode where Cyborg was able to not be persuaded, not be hypnotized by Brother Blood's powers, that what we knew of Brother Blood told us, wow, that would really get under his skin. So I think that there was a fascination for Brother Blood. Here's someone on whom my charms don't work. I need to understand that, or else I'm going to be destroyed by it.
Instead of the villain who was in the shadows, he was going to be very flamboyant, and he wanted to be in the spotlight, and he liked being a villain. He liked being in control of the Hive Academy. So that was the take we had with Brother Blood.
You can't defeat the Headmaster, Cyborg. When are you going to learn?
Red X began as Robin's alter ego. He was a character that he took on during the 2-parter with The Apprentice when Robin was pretending to train to become Slade's apprentice. Somewhere along the way, someone took hold of the suit and became Red X. He's the mystery guy. You don't know who he is. He's some guy who took on a suit, but now he's his own character who's a villain, but he may not be.
When I wrote Red X, I always thought of him as Robin without his moral compass. The exact same person, just without knowing right from wrong.
Well, Red X cheats. He doesn't fight fair. Robin is good, and Red X knows that about Robin, and that's Robin's weakness against Red X.
I thought you didn't like to play the hero. Doesn't mean I don't know how.
Red X doesn't know quite which side he's on, so where he benefits from that by being able to kind of switch from one side to the other, there are also moments where he hesitates, or a situation where Red X might get away. He might go back and save somebody and thereby get caught himself.
One of the things that makes Red X such an interesting and dastardly villain is he's so unpredictable. I mean, there is this giant question mark around him. We have no idea who he is. All we see is a suit. And understanding the villain or the person inside the suit is half of knowing how to defeat them. And for the Titans, they have no clue. And that's what's so confounding to Robin, is that here is this piece of technology that he created for himself that's been totally misappropriated by someone else, and he can't get to the bottom of who that is that's using it.
What's the matter, kid? Don't you want to play? After all, they're your toys.
Surprised to see me, little sister?
I am surprised to see you out of prison!
Blackfire just is an evil sister. We had conceived her as the older, cooler, more experienced, better at everything, picks things up. I mean, she comes to Earth and has a better grasp of English than Starfire does almost immediately.
The thing about Blackfire is she is her sister, but she doesn't have any of those same qualities of goodness and kindness. And Blackfire and Starfire come from the same world.
Their powers are identical, however, their capacity for good is vastly weighted towards the Starfire end of the equation.
They definitely both have the power of flight. They both have the Starbolts.
It's the ultimate sibling rivalry between Starfire and Blackfire. And Blackfire definitely sees Starfire as everything that Starfire sees in Blackfire, but in the good way. So I can see that there is a deep resentment, if not hatred, that Blackfire has for her perfect little sister.
You'll always be my little sister.
I am not so little anymore!
Blackfire had the Jewel of Charta, and I believe that was the answer, that by smashing that gave Starfire a little bit more of an edge.
Blackfire has an enormous ego, and I think that is her greatest weakness. Her pride always gets in the way.
There was the conflict of good and evil, but that was also stretched across the bond of still being sisters, that Starfire can, beat Blackfire up and win the battle and then say, it was still nice to see you.
Gentlemen, Mumbos of all ages, we have a really great show for you tonight.
Mumbo is a magician, and he's another one who's kind of interesting because he's kind of a bumbling character, but when he really is after something, he's pretty terrifying, that he can take you into his world.
The Amazing Mumbo was one of a few characters that we actually created for the show. And originally was just what we kind of call a villain of the week, one that just would come in, get defeated, and off he goes. But it was always a hope of ours that we could find ways to use Mumbo that we could really show off his powers in a way that were more on the fun side, in keeping with the lightness of his character rather than just the big bad, which he'll never ever beat.
When we decided to do a whole episode about Mumbo, it seemed natural that it would also focus on Raven, since there is the, he's magic, she's magic, the different kinds of magic.
A peace offering.
You pulled that out of your sleeve.
Must you overanalyze everything? Why can't you just sit back and enjoy the show?
Because it isn't real.
I think he's the sleight of hand magician who got a hold of an actual magic wand. And of course, the price he paid was that it made him insane.
He thought that nobody would ever figure him out, or nobody would ever out-trick him. And that's what ended up getting the Titans free, was the trick at the end, that they were able to outsmart him at his own game.
Don't bother getting up, you're in my control. No way for you to fuss and fight.
I love directing musical animation, so it was great to have an episode of Teen Titans that had a song in it. So I knew I had to have someone who had cartoony energy and could give me a couple of different choices for voices and could sing. So as we were casting that, we thought, okay, who do we know that we'd like to have come and play that we haven't had a chance to use on the series yet? And we thought of Tom Kenny.
I am the one with magic powers round here. I am the one who runs the show.
If anybody was going to have a song, Mumbo was, and he was going to sing it himself, by goodness.
We get a musical number from Mumbo, which was completely appropriate to his character and a lot more fun than a chase, and really one of my favorite moments in the whole run of the show.
Now for the greatest grand finale and the reason why you're here. Tonight I will make the Titans disappear. Forever.
There, old man. At least we still have each other.
Mad Mod is a unique villain in that he is the only villain that I can think of that we pulled from the original Titans comics from the 60s, right down to the dialogue, calling them me duckies and things like that.
You know, there's an old British saying, my duckies. Those who don't learn from history are doomed to repeat it.
In the original comics, Mad Mod was a tailor. So if you think of him that way in context of his villainous persona now, he wants to remake the world in his own image.
When we were initially casting it, we knew we wanted Malcolm McDowell. He's just such a beautiful voice and loves to play in animation, and he made himself available to us.
Aren't you getting a little old for this?
On the contrary, laddie, I'm feeling younger by the tick.
Mad Mod is a bitter old man who tinkers with gadgets and is able to come up with some pretty amazing things to do with them. So he's a little old guy sitting there pulling levers and stuff, and in the case of Revolution in Season 3, he actually has come up with a gadget that lets him become the person that he pretends to be all the time.
That'll put the peas back in your porridge.
We decided to take Robin out of the equation since the first Mad Mod appearance was mostly a Robin story. This time we figured the weakness of the group was if Mad Mod removed Robin, and then the rest of the Titans would have to work together to figure out how to defeat him.
Quite a show, eh? Quite a show!
The Titans take advantage of his ego, take advantage of his desire to kind of make himself king, to slip in under the radar and just knock him when he's not looking.
Mad Mod's weakness is that he wants to be king, and the Titans prove that democracy is better.
Move it, slug crunchers! We're running out of time!
I could use a hand here.
The Hive Trio were pulled from the comics and then conceived for our series as the anti-Titans, just a team of evil kids. So they had already been pre-existing in the series, and then when we brought in Brother Blood as an evil teacher, it made sense to have an evil academy.
Undisputedly, their leader is Jinx. She is cool and in control, but is cursed with terrible bad luck. Mammoth is unstoppable. He is relentless, whether it's crashing through walls or eating whatever put in front of him. You know, Mammoth is Mammoth in every sense of the word. And then, of course, there's Gizmo. You know, his power is the power to annoy. Although not really. Gizmo is great with anything technological. He can think it, he can build it.
Individually, they're like the Titans, they're teen archetypes, you know. I mean, Jinx is sort of the snobby popular girl. Gizmo is the smart aleck, foul-mouthed little kid, and Mammoth is the great big powerful brute glutton.
I think you could definitely say that the Titans are more organized, they have better skills, and they're fighting for good, and good always beats evil.
I think that the Titans prevailed in part because they actually cared about it. I think when you're doing something for the wrong reason, as the Hive kids frequently / always were, your heart's not in it in the same way as when you're doing it for the right reason.